I'm Leslie.
And I'm Shelly.
And we are Sisters in Ebert. Welcome back for another Movie Monday.
A Saturday morning.
Hey, 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 hey!
Don't you
Forget about me. The Breakfast Club.
Welcome to the Breakfast Club.
1985. John Hughes.
Mm-hmm.
I almost said John Landis, but John Hughes.
The start of the Brat Pack.
Mm-hmm,
The very famous collage of
yeah.
overprivileged actor children.
And it was written and directed by John Hughes.
Yes.
Some he just directs, some he just writes. And
This is
some
a
he does
twofer.
Yeah.
Woo-wee.
So, the film opens to the "Don't You Forget About Me" song with long credits,
which was written for the movie, or chosen for the movie, and they almost didn't record it. This band,
it was supposed to. Who was it gonna? Oh, Billy Idol.
Yeah, they wanted Billy Idol,
and he didn't feel the song was right for him. But later on, he did his version and he released it. Yeah,
but this band was like, "Oh, this is gonna be some like throwaway movie. I don't know that we want to do it." So they recorded it. They're like, "Whatever," and then they forgot about it. And then when the movie was a huge hit, they were like, "Oh my gosh, we did that!"
And there's it opens after the long credits, which I pulled a Shelley and fast forwarded.
Yeah, you have to get to the action. You know?
Yeah, because once I saw there was nothing happening, I was like, okay, it's just the song. So there's a quote from David Bowie. It's, "And these children that you spit on as they try to change their worlds are immune to your consultations. They're quite aware of what they're going through." And then it opens up to the movie.
Hey-o. So
the quote is shattered. And then we're outside of Shermer High School on March 24th, 1984 in Shermer, Illinois, a Saturday. And the narration is Principal Vernon, I think, or to Principal Vernon, about doing Saturday detention, and that just, it's like they're showing different clips of the school with this narration over it, and that just being just, but not doing essay too, like, so I don't know what that means.
So they don't want to do this essay that they're assigned.
Being there is it just enough, not having to do the essay too, and as he sees them, as he wants to, a brain, an athlete, a basket case, princess, and a criminal. And that was how they saw themselves initially.
And this is all voiced by Anthony Michael Hall.
Yes, at the beginning. Yes. Molly Ringwald ditched class to go shopping. She's pulling up with her dad in the car.
So she got detention for that. So, I don't know, did we mention this? It's Saturday morning detention.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know if we said that, but...
Yeah.
So that's why Molly Ringwald, Claire is her name. So Claire was shopping.
Yep. I used all their actor names until their real names were revealed. Their character names. Yeah. Anthony Michael Hall is instructed to find a way to study because he's supposed to just sit there, and his mom's lecturing him about that, like how this is like you use that time to your advantage. She's like, we just have to sit there, Mom. She's like, you find a way to study.
Right. And that was his real mom.
Was it?
And sibling.
I didn't know that.
In the car. I forget if it was a girl or boy. I think it was a girl. His sister.
Yeah, he's just popping around back there.
Yeah, she says something, but it's his real family.
That's great. And use the time to his advantage. And did you notice their license plate was EMC2?
Oh.
Equals MC squared.
Nerd alert!
Emilio Estevez can't blow college scholarship, and he's the jock. And he's there with his dad dropping him off. And Ali Sheedy's parents say nothing. They just drop her off and leave without a word. She goes to say something and they speed off. Judd Nelson arrives on his own.
Yeah, on foot.
And Mr. Vernon arrives and gives rules for the 8-hour, 54-minute detention that they have to go.
Seems pretty harsh for what
That's longer
some
than a
of them were charged for. Yes.
That's longer than a school day.
And now you're punishing yourself because you have to come in and proctor this. I'm sure he's salaried. He's not getting overtime for this.
Maybe it's like
when
you coach, you get a little something extra.
Stipend for it. I don't know. I feel like it was a little harsh for Miss ditching school. She gets 8-hour detention.
9-hour detention. 8 hours and 54 minutes because they had already burned 6 minutes.
Yes,
by the time the principal walked in. And he also assigns them a 1,000-word essay, no less than 1,000 words.
And you are handwriting this. You got to count that.
Do you remember those days? I do.
No, I don't think I ever had one where I had a word count
dirty
before a computer.
No, I used to have to handwrite them, and I remember 9th grade we didn't always have to type, so yeah, we'd have to write. And I was a left-hander, so I always got points off for my penmanship. Yeah.
Messiness.
Because my hand ate my homework.
Well, I see your messiness here.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I like to say it improved. It did not. So Judd Nelson immediately gets another Saturday detention because he's back-mouthing the principal.
He's like that annoying kid that's like
doesn't care.
Every school had one. You can. I'm sure you're all at home. You can picture yours. That it was like that bad kid who got in trouble for everything, and they just mouthed off,
and they didn't care.
And everybody was just like, just be quiet.
Yeah, just stop. Because sometimes they throw everybody under the bus.
Yes, everybody gets in trouble then for that one kid sometimes.
Ally Sheedy bites her nails loudly, and Judd Nelson warns her if she eats her hand, she won't be hungry for lunch. That was after the principal left. Judd Nelson pretends to pee on the floor and is lewd to Molly Ringwald, and Emilio Estevez defends them.
Yeah.
Defends her. Yeah.
Because they're the two cool popular kids that know each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The socials, if you will. Judd keeps trying to rile everybody up and call because they're supposed to be completely silent, and the principal's office is right across. They're in the library, and the principal's office is right across from the hall from the library.
And the door is open, like the door is propped open.
Right. Emilio Estevez tells Bender that's Judd. No. Is that Judd Nelson? Is that his name?
I think it's
Judd Nelson. Yes,
Judd Nelson.
It was like not clicking in my brain.
As I said, I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah,
that might not be
right.
him.
I know. And then I was thinking, wait, no. His name is John Bender, but they all call him Bender initially and through most of the movie. If he disappeared, no one would miss him. So they're starting out great.
Yeah. A lot of tension in this library.
They all discuss various clubs, and academic clubs are still social. They're social. They're not, they're sad, but they're social. Because Molly Ringwald was trying to say that, like, her clubs are different than, like, Anthony Michael Hall's math club or physics club.
Yes.
Well, we do physics and, we talk about physics. And it's like, they're talking. It's social.
It's true, though. Like, certain clubs are very different socially. Like,
Think
how
about,
you were interacting with people in those clubs.
Yes, exactly. As Vernon walks away, Bender closes the library door, and other kids freak out because they're like, "Stop! You're gonna get us in trouble! Stop!"
Slams shut.
It's a huge, heavy door.
He takes the bolt out of it, so it slams shut, and it can't be propped open.
Yeah, because so no one fesses up to Vernon as to who closed the door, and he said, "What if a screw fell out of it?" And if he looks down, there's a screw standing there. It's like, how did you know? He's like, "We're just sitting here. A screw could pop out of the door." So he believes that Bender stole the screw, and the door is too heavy to prop with the chair or the magazine rack.
Yeah, he's trying. He gets Emilio Estevez to pick it up.
Get over here, help me.
And then Bender says, "What if there's a fire?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "Get this out of here! What are you thinking?" And he blames him for moving it there. No, he's just doing what he was told by the principal.
Yes. Vernon has Andrew, Emilio Estevez, so that name is revealed now. It's Andrew. Clark immediately get up to help prop with the magazine rack, but Bender warns of violating the fire code. Sorry. Bender mouths off and gets about 8 more Saturday detentions, despite Anthony Michael Hall correcting that it was only 7. That's 8, mister. That's 7, sir. No.
I'd be terrified that I was going to get one. My mouth would be shut.
Yeah, I know, right? Bender lights a cigarette off a burning shoe as other kids play with strings, draw, busy themselves to fill time. Ally Sheedy uses her dandruff as her snow in the picture. Yeah. So gross. Oh, I was like, why? Ew, gross. Vernon wakes the kids for a bathroom break around 2 to 3 hours into the
detention. Who's going to the bathroom? They're all just...
Yeah.
Just raise
who's going to the bathroom? Bender rips books, and Andrew invites Molly Ringwald to a party that night. She worries her parents would divorce and use her to get to each other. And Andrew, because I guess her parents don't get along, I don't know. Yeah. They're always going against each other, and one's telling her she can't do something, one's like, no, you can do that. You don't have to listen to that. Andrew and Bender butt heads, And Anthony Michael Hall, who is revealed to be Brian, claims not to like his parents. Molly Ringwald is Claire, and Bender questions her purity. Andrew again tries to challenge Bender and takes him down in a wrestling hold.
He's a wrestler.
Yeah, because he jumps in to defend Claire, and Bender reveals a knife. Yes. Janitor Carl comes in and says hi to Brian and reveals the clock is 20 minutes fast in the library.
So they're all like, "Oh, come on."
The kids continue passing the time whistling, but shut down by Vernon to let them have 30 minutes for lunch, and takes Ali Sheedy, and Andrew to get sodas for all for lunch. She claims to love vodka. Because he's like, well, what do you like to drink? And she's like, vodka.
What I was shocked in this is that none of them are doing the essay.
Yes.
None of them started it
at
all.
Nobody.
Not even Anthony Michael Hall, who is the nerd, wants to do well, wants to be the best.
Yep.
I didn't understand why none of them tried a little bit just to get it over with. Like, you have to do it.
What was their purpose? Like, just for a change of scenery? Like, because Emilio asked Andrew's like, wouldn't the cafeteria be a more appropriate place?
I think it was to get up out of their seats,
I was like, to go somewhere else. Because it's essentially the same setup, tables and chairs.
Right.
And then Bender's, will milk be provided? We need milk. We need something. We can't be dehydrated. I get really bad when I'm dehydrated. That's gross. So he's like, there's a soda machine in the teacher's lounge. Which that's how you can tell this is the 80s. Mm-hmm. When were you ever offered a soda at school?
Never.
Yeah, exactly.
Never, ever. There was a soda machine in our high school.
Yeah.
That we could buy after school
hours.
You couldn't do it during
Not during school hours. And not for lunch.
Right. Sure. Wait till your walk home.
Yep. Andrew again avoids telling why he's in detention. He's avoided it a couple times at this point, but Claire claims to have no control over his future, that his parents have determined it all for him, his dad and his coach. Brian doesn't want others to know he's a virgin and first tries to lie about it. Claire brings sushi for lunch and all get a soda and are disgusted by the sushi. She asks if she can eat it now. She's annoyed, and Bender's like, go ahead, give it a try. You could give it a try. She's like, can I just eat now? And he's like, you could try.
That was something that Allison, what's her name?
Sheedy,
she suggested that she should have sushi because it's bougier food at that time.
Yeah.
Whereas like they were just going to have her do something simple like a salad or something.
I would think that would be bougie now even.
Yeah.
Showing up to lunch with sushi.
Yes, yeah.
Because she had it in like the box with the...
Yeah. A lot of the creative things came from Allison Sheedy. Like she suggested a lot of the things that they added into the movie.
Andrew unpacks a whole grocery store pretty much for his lunch.
A true wrestler.
Yes.
Who doesn't have to make weight.
I was going to say, like, most wrestlers I knew in high school were, like, bare bones, like, maybe some broth.
But we also went to a high school where it was very competitive wrestling at the time.
That's true. His might not.
And so you had a lot of kids competing to be in that
spots.
weight class. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so his probably wasn't that.
Yeah.
He could just...
He had, like, a sandwich, a whole bag of chips, like a pint of milk, like... Yeah.
Like,
everything you could think of.
Yeah.
And not like the fun size bag of chips.
Like a full on bag.
Yeah. Ali Sheedy makes pixie stick and cereal sandwich. It was so gross.
That was also her idea.
And
to add the crunch.
Yeah, she threw the pimento up on the
up on the sculpture.
Yeah. And Brian is mocked by Bender for his PB&J. That's a very nutritious lunch. All the food groups are fully represented.
And it should be noted that Bender doesn't have a lunch.
Yeah.
He didn't bring one.
No, he's just kind of making fun of everybody else's lunch. Probably because he's hungry. Bender claims he gets hit at home and abused. Vernon leaves to get coffee after spilling his, and all the kids go to Bender's locker for something that is revealed to be marijuana.
They don't realize what they're going for. They all agreed to go. Like, why are you going with him?
I know. He's been like, I know. This is what, I guess, because they're dumb teenagers. Yeah, their frontal lobe's not all the way developed. I don't know.
Yes, but like, I get doing what the popular kid is telling you to do, but what the
burner kid
kid is not the one that everybody listens to, generally speaking, in high school.
It's not like he was holding up his knife trying to burn you either.
Maybe they were afraid that he'd whip it out again. But
Ali Sheedy steals his combination lock, and then there's a music sequence. as the kids try to get back to the library to avoid Vernon spotting them, and Bender creates a distraction so the other kids can get back without getting caught. So he sacrificed himself.
Yeah, the first nice thing he did. He figured, I'm already here.
Yep.
8 Saturdays.
Yep.
Or 7.
So he took off screaming and yelling and causing commotion so Vernon would go after him, and they could go the other way because they ran into a dead end with the gate pole unlocked. Vernon says John Bender is a bum and he won't be able to stay with others the rest of the day. Vernon tells him not to make him look bad again to Bender, as he has a home and makes $31,000 a year and won't throw that away.
And I heard, I was like, ooh.
Yeah.
But when you look it up, like current day figures, it's like $81,000.
Yeah, so that's
it
pretty
is
good.
A nice salary, but still.
I was like,
I make $31,000 a year.
And he tries to bait Bender into punching him.
Yeah, he's like, go ahead, right here, do it. And Bender's just like,
he doesn't, because he knows.
Vernon looked crazy.
He did. Like, what was the point of that? Like,
he was done.
Like, I know he was ticked off.
Yeah,
but
as he's like locking this kid in the closet too.
Yeah, and he's like, oh, you're making me look bad. They already all think you're a joke.
Right.
Like, does he think any of these kids respect him?
No.
Like, come on. Bender escapes where he's locked in through the ceiling and crashes through the library ceiling, claiming he forgot his pencil.
This part, he's like telling a joke, and they told him like, just make up a joke. So it has no punchline; it's not a real joke. But he's like going and saying, and then he falls to the ceiling. Goes, forgot my pencil. And that part was ad-libbed. Like he made that up.
Others cover for Bender with Vernon and claim not to have heard the ruckus. It's like, what was that ruckus? I didn't hear a ruckus,
sir. What do you mean?
There's no ruckus. I don't...
Maybe he's just hiding in the back.
They again fall, but then he starts like pretend coughing, like so they're all covering it.
They're trying to cover for him, and he's purposely being loud and obnoxious.
So they're all like,
yeah.
Yeah. The kids again follow Bender and leave. They leave the library to light up marijuana, except to another section of the library.
Yeah, to like the back room. Yeah. The periodicals, I believe it was.
And except for Ali Sheedy, and Andrew goes nuts. Like he just goes nuts.
Yeah.
And he's supposedly yelling so loud that the glass the glass door shatters. I'm like,
yeah, there was a little odd, a little strange.
Yeah. Carl catches Vernon going through the student confidential files and asks for $50.
But what I was thinking is, why can't he go through the files? He's the principal. If anybody is privy to these personal information files, like, it's him.
Who else? The guidance counselor, and that's it? Like, come on.
But he oversees the guidance counselor too, so it's like...
Yeah, it's dumb.
It was a dumb thing that it didn't make sense to me. Like, why are you paying off the janitor?
Yeah, then this was in the day of permanent records. Remember that?
Yes, yeah.
Ali Sheedy stole Brian's wallet and pretended to know all about him because, like,
she like recites his social security number and stuff.
And his address and like his. He's like, how do you know all that? She's like, he's got a nudie picture in there.
His fake ID.
Yeah, yes. He's like, what did he say? You realize this makes you 63, right?
Yeah. And they're like, why do you have a fake ID? So I can vote.
Yeah.
And that was an ad-lib line also.
Claire and Bender are going through each other's wallets and purses. Andrew and Brian do the same. Brian has a fake ID to vote. Ali Sheedy says her home life is unsatisfying. And it's revealed finally that her name is Allison.
Yes. It took this long. Well, she hadn't said a peep the whole movie, basically. She made a noise now and then, but...
Yeah, and she wants to run away. Andrew goes after Allison to find out her problems and reveals she is ignored by parents. Mm-hmm. Carl and Vernon chat, and Vernon believes the kids changed, and Carl says Vernon got older and it's not the kids changing.
It's true.
What I used to be into was it, and now
now
what it is. So now what's it? It'll happen to you. And now what's cool, or now what's it? What I was into is it isn't cool, and what's cool is new and scary.
It's a Simpsons quote.
Yeah, that's not the Breakfast Club. So Allison claims to be a nymphomaniac and will do anything. Doesn't need to be paid, and claims to be intimate with her shrink. Mm-hmm. Oh, no. Oh, yes. Our friend Bunny, our mutual acquaintance Bunny, is one of these. Oh, no. Oh, yes. Lebowski. All discuss how sex can be used as a weapon, and Claire admits to never having sex, and Allison reveals she hasn't either, but is a compulsive liar.
Which is it's showing, yes.
Andrew taped kids' buns together to get detention.
Yes.
It's finally revealed what he did. And it really hurt the kid, and he did it to impress his dad. That's a weird flex.
His dad takes it seriously, that him being a serious athlete. And apparently that's something that is expected of him as an athlete, to haze the
Other
younger
kids.
children.
Yeah.
And it was a friend of
Anthony
Brian's.
Yeah.
So he was like, you did that? Like,
yeah,
was
that was
like,
you?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Andrew felt remorse immediately after and feels pressure to succeed from his father. All the boys reveal pressure from the parents, as Brian is not athletic but failed shop class. So even him, like, he's got it, in a different way.
He's like, the best I can even do is get a C.
Yeah.
Now at this point.
Yeah.
And like,
the elephant
very
lamp.
upset. Yeah, he had to make an elephant lamp.
That sounds like a hard project. Like, it was like a ceramic elephant, which when I took wood shop, we were not doing anything with ceramics.
No, it was all basic makeup pencil.
Yeah, I remember we did a mousetrap
car.
Race car. Yeah, a tic-tac-toe board, and there was a third thing that I nearly failed. I think it was just a block of wood that had to be exactly straight.
Fun fact about me in shop class, I was afraid to use the saw.
Me too!
So I would just sand everything.
Me too!
I'd get it to a point, and then I just push it against the sander.
I was out of school the day they showed us how to use the power tools.
I was afraid, though.
And I was terrified to use the power tools.
Well, and they can tell when it's not exact when you're using the sander, so it's not a good thing to do.
It's not a good system.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll reveal random facts about themselves. Allison can eat, brush her teeth, and play piano with her feet. Heart and soul on the piano. Claire can do her lipstick with her cleavage, and Brian can make spaghetti. Bender tells Claire not to compare herself to him, and all feel they are turning into their parents, but Allison says it's unavoidable, that it will happen. Brian laments that on Monday they won't be friends anymore, and Claire says that they won't be. She's like, you're right. This is it.
We don't mix.
Yeah. All feel pressure from friends to some extent. Brian is in detention because a teacher found a gun in his locker, and he said he was going to unalive himself because of the F in shop class, but it was a flare gun.
Yeah. It's like this whole heavy.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, that's what and he got one detention for that? That's what I was thinking.
But so, they found the gun in his locker, this whole thing, and then they said, it was a flare gun.
Yeah. Everybody was like.
And then he starts, everybody's kind of giggling, and then he starts giggling too, it lightens the mood then.
Allison did nothing and just came because she had nothing better to do.
She doesn't even have to be there. And it makes sense why Vernon doesn't really pay attention to her. Nobody pays attention to her because she's just kind of that kid that's there.
All dance in the library for some reason.
It was supposed to just be Claire.
Yeah, I saw that.
She
didn't want to do it by herself.
It by herself, so they added it. But then she said she regretted not doing it herself because she doesn't like the scene. She thinks it's stupid that they're all just dancing.
Yeah, they and it just it feels added in, it's weird.
It definitely. But they were trying to fill some time.
Yeah,
it's not a very long movie. It's an hour and a half. So
it's just over an hour and a half.
So they had to add in a couple things here and there.
Bender goes through the ceiling again, and Claire tries to get Brian to write the paper for all of them, and then gives Allison a makeover. Which, did you hear about Ali Sheedy's feelings on that?
Yeah, she is not a fan of the makeover.
No, she felt like she shouldn't be liked because of changing her appearance.
Right, yeah. And I don't think she looked that much better, personally.
Yeah. I mean, they just made her hairbrushed, essentially.
Right, and
some nicer clothes.
Her dark makeup is off.
Yeah. Andrew likes Allison's makeover, and Claire kisses Bender. All leave and say goodbye to Carl. Bender will see him next week. Andrew kisses Allison goodbye, and Claire gives Bender her earring as they kiss, which they had already discussed earlier. Are those real diamonds, Claire? Shut up. Yeah. So Bender puts the earring in his ear, and all again narrate the essay as in the beginning. But all are saying the brain, an athlete.
Yeah, they say their own stereotype.
Yeah, princess and criminal. Does that answer your question? Sincerely, the Breakfast Club. And then Bender walks out onto the football field and holds up his right fist to "Don't You Forget About Me" by Simple Minds. The end.
Mm-hmm. Which he ad-libbed that too. Okay. They had a whole bunch of, like, they just said, just walk, like, try a whole bunch of different things. And that was his last take. That's what he did. And that's what stuck.
Now, I know John Hughes had a lot of trouble getting this made. Did you hear about that? They didn't, for whatever reason. Oh, they didn't want to make this because it wasn't like a raunchy 80s teen comedy.
Yeah, it didn't fit the genre.
They were like trying to compare it, like they were trying to make something like Animal House or Revenge of the Nerds or Porky's.
Porky's, yeah.
And this wasn't it. And then this ended up being really iconic because it was the first movie that really portrayed like teenagers and like having messy home lives and that everybody's got something going on and you don't know it without having that undertone to it of like a comedy or, you know, things like that.
It's very different than every other movie in that time period.
And the only reason they kind of did it was they found the location. It was an abandoned high school. And he was like, it's a one location shoot, you know, we can do it really fast. And they okayed it.
Yeah. Then. With how short the movie is, it was actually like 2 hours something at some point, and they cut out a lot of
I heard that too.
Yeah, there was like a whole scene with like a gym teacher coming in.
Yeah, and they thought the girls got that kicked out because they were like, the boys were supposed to be watching her change at some point.
Yeah, so like the phys ed teacher's there, and she's changing in the locker room for some reason. She was there for like a sport or something. Yeah. Which is also like no one else is using the high school on a Saturday. Yeah. Like, there's no other club, there's no other sports.
If it's wrestling season, it's March.
It's March, so wrestling should be done, basically.
Yeah, you'd have probably track, maybe theater, baseball maybe even at this point, doing at least pre-workouts. Right.
But nobody. It's an abandoned campus. Yeah. Just Carl, the janitor, coming through. So, so the phys ed teacher was supposed to be in there. Yes. And they cut all that out because the girls said, like, this is taking away from what this could be.
This is not what this is supposed to be.
Yeah, and I listened to him, and I agree. I agree, too. It would have made it even weirder.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I agree. Do you have anything else that you can think of?
I'm trying to remember.
I know, I'm trying to think, too.
I did a lot of them as we went. There was a couple things that was like, oh, I have to remember to mention that.
The Martin Sheen thing.
Oh, yeah. So Carl had some monologue or something, and he was doing his part, and the kids were like not doing.
It was Judd Nelson and Emilio Estevez. Yeah, and who were trying to like make him laugh.
No, you said that, but I found a different story.
Oh, what was yours?
Mine was that it was like they were overacting. Oh. And like getting too excited about things and stuff, and he brought up how Martin had a heart attack on the set of Apocalypse Now, not realizing that Emilio Estevez is his son.
Yeah, he was trying to use that as an example.
Yeah, and like
of how he kept going, right?
Yeah, or something. So, I don't know. And then Emilio Estevez got kind of mad about it. Like, he got feisty about it, and then I guess he apologized and they were good. But it was like a whole thing between them.
Didn't she say later he worked with Martin Sheen then? Carl the... I
don't know. Did
he? Yeah, he worked with Martin Sheen later on like West Wing or something or something. Know. Yeah, and he told Martin Sheen about it because he felt bad about it, and he kind of laughed about it. Yeah. Martin Sheen laughed about it.
Well, it kind of makes sense for Emilio Estevez's personality because he's the one that started the Brat Pack term. Yeah. It was about him because he was observed being snotty, basically.
No.
Yeah.
No, I can't believe it. Well, how they came up with the title of the movie, The Breakfast Club, too. Yes. Originally they were going to call it The Lunch Bunch. Yeah. And
doesn't sound as good, but makes a little more sense.
I forget whose kid it was. It might have been John Hughes. Had a kid who was in high school at the time, and they called like their before school detentions the Breakfast Club. So when he heard that, they called it the Breakfast Club.
Yeah, I never understood it though. It was like you're there the whole day.
It kind of came out of nowhere. Yeah, it's not like it's a before school detention.
Right. They should have had some sort of conversation like we should meet back here for breakfast every Saturday. Yeah, like something to make it make a little more sense. Personally, but I don't know.
Do you think his essay was 1,000 words?
No. I forget what the count was, but it was like 95 or something. Like somebody counted it, what he wrote. Yeah, and that's what I was thinking. Like, did they all get detention the next week for not doing the essay? Then, like,
well, why
was Vernon changed from talking to Carl? I don't know.
And who's assigning and grading these? Like, You're making more work for yourself.
Right. I don't think he really cared. He just wanted to keep them busy.
I did adjunct teaching for a while, and I wanted to create as few assignments as possible that I had to grade outside of the school.
1,000 words for each of those kids. How many kids are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
So that's 5,000 words you've now assigned yourself to read and count to make sure it's 1,000 words. No, thank you.
Oh, and the iconic poster of them. Annie Leibovitz did the pictures for it, and they had like a bunch of different poses, and they felt like that was just plain and simple, and it worked, and it's one of the most iconic. Like, a lot of people like pose for it now. To like give a nod to it.
Yeah. I feel like this is a good movie. Like, it's like a rite of passage movie. Like, it's something you have to see once in your life. It's not like a favorite movie of mine, but I don't dislike it.
No,
anyway.
Exactly. Yeah. It's a neutral.
Yeah, I'm indifferent towards it, but it does have its like funny moments, and it does have its really heavy, like interesting moments too. So I think it's a good mix of things.
But are you familiar with The Breakfast Club?
Yeah, do you like The Breakfast Club?
I've seen it. Yeah, I'm sure everybody's seen it. But do you enjoy it?
Maybe they haven't.
Maybe they haven't. Yeah. I think this is my first time watching it all the way through.
Really, in one shot.
In one shot. Yeah, because I would just catch pieces of it every now and again. So. Yeah. But if you liked this video, hopefully you did. You found us on YouTube. Please like, comment, subscribe to our YouTube page. If you look down below in the description of this video, you will find links to our social media. We are on Facebook and Instagram at Sisters and Ebert. Please follow us there too. You get a lot of, well, not a lot of extra content, but some extra content.
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little taste.
A little taste, yeah. You get the teasers more often than on YouTube. But we do appreciate you tuning in, and we will see you next Monday at the movie.